The cracks in my marriage began as faint hairline fractures, so small I almost missed them. Sarah's laughter, once warm and frequent, turned clipped. Her eyes lingered on her phone longer than they ever did on me. I told myself it was stress, her promotion at the marketing firm, the late nights, the sudden work trips to cities she'd never mentioned before. But denial is a flimsy shield. One evening, while she showered, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. A notification flashed. "See you tomorrow, beautiful, 8 p.m. The name attached, Ethan Carter, meant nothing to me, but the knot in my stomach tightened when I opened her email and found reservations for a boutique hotel downtown, charged to our joint account. I didn't confront her. Instead, I became a student of her betrayal. I tracked her movements, noting how her perfume grew stronger on Fridays, how she'd return home with her blouse slightly misbuttoned. I hired a discreet investigator, a woman named Clara, who specialized in corporate infidelity. Within a week, she delivered photos. Sarah and Ethan, hands clasped under a restaurant table, his thumb brushing her wedding ring. They looked like a scene from a romance novel, one I hadn't signed up to star in, but rage is a blunt instrument. I wanted precision. I spent nights dissecting our finances, tracing the money she'd siphoned for gifts, a Rolex, a weekend in Napa, a diamond pendant that never made it to her jewelry box. I copied every receipt, every credit card statement, every email. Then I found the LLC Ethan had quietly registered 6 months prior, Carter and Hart Consulting. Our savings had funded his startup. Sarah hadn't just broken vows, she'd bankrolled her own betrayal. The night I pieced it all together, I sat in my home office, the glow of my laptop illuminating divorce statutes. But legal separation felt insufficient. Sarah had weaponized our life together. I'd return the favor. I began drafting a different plan, one that would unravel her carefully constructed double life thread by thread. By dawn, I knew exactly how to make her regret that hotel reservation. Patience became my religion. I smiled at Sarah's lies, kissed her goodbye as she left for client dinners, and quietly rerouted our assets. I liquidated joint accounts, transferring funds to an offshore portfolio under my grandmother's maiden name. I met with a forensic accountant who uncovered Ethan S. Shell Company S. ties to 3 other married women, all clients of Sarah S. firm. Turns out consulting was Ethan's euphemism for seducing women with access to their husband's wealth. I infiltrated his world. Using a fake LinkedIn profile, I connected with Ethan as a venture capitalist interested in his business model. He bit instantly, boasting about his client's loyalty over whiskey at a dimly lit bar. I recorded every word. When he excused himself to text Sarah, I slipped a keystroke logger into his briefcase. By midnight, I had access to every email, every encrypted message, every photo he'd sent her. Sarah's birthday arrived. She expected diamonds. I gifted her complacency. As she dressed for another work event, I disabled her phone's Wi-Fi and handed her a burner. "In case of emergencies," I said, my voice steady. She never noticed the tracking software I'd installed. That night, while she toasted with Ethan at a rooftop bar, I entered his apartment. His laptop lay open, passwords saved in a sticky note labeled Idiot's Guide. I copied files linking Sarah to embezzlement, inflated invoices, forged signatures, transfers to offshore accounts. The final piece came weeks later. At a charity gala hosted by Sarah's firm, I shook Ethan's hand, smiling as I pressed a thumb drive into his palm. "A gift," I whispered. "Open it when the stakes are highest." The drive contained a virus that would wipe his servers clean, but only after he uploaded all his financial data to the cloud. I made sure the malware was untraceable, coded by a hacker who owed me a favor from my college days. The collapse began subtly. First, Ethan's investors received anonymous emails detailing his affairs and fraud. His engagement with Sarah's firm was exposed as a conflict of interest, triggering an internal audit. By the time the SEC froze his assets, Sarah's name was splashed across subpoenas. She stormed into our home, eyes wild, demanding to know if I'd betrayed her. I feigned ignorance, handing her a glass of wine laced with anti-anxiety meds. "We'll fight this together," I lied. While she slept, I forwarded every incriminating file to her parents, her devoutly Catholic mother who once called me the son she always wanted. The next morning, her family disowned her publicly on Facebook, citing moral bankruptcy. Her firm suspended her, then terminated her after the board discovered she'd funneled $500,000 into Ethan S. accounts. Ethan, desperate to avoid prison, turned on her. He leaked their texts to the media, proof she'd orchestrated the embezzlement. The final blow came when the IRS seized our home, unaware I'd legally separated my assets months prior. Sarah stood on the courthouse steps, sobbing into her hands as photographers snapped her downfall. I watched from a rented car, my face hidden behind tinted windows. Months later, I received a letter from her. "I have nothing left," she wrote. "Was this your plan all along?" I burned it unread. Let her wonder. Let her trace every catastrophe back to that first hotel reservation. At night, I visit the beach house I bought with the money I salvaged. The waves here are relentless, erasing footprints as quickly as they're made. Sometimes I think about forgiveness, not for her but for myself. Then I open the encrypted folder labeled Legacy, filled with documents ensuring Sarah will never work in finance again, never loan a dollar, never escape what she did. The salt air tastes sweeter, knowing I built this life from the ashes of hers. Revenge isn't a wildfire. It's a slow, meticulous burn, one I've learned to control.